Welcome to Fomo Consulting for your daily AMC stock analysis video on Sunday, April 25th. Let's discuss this week's battle plan. I could not be more excited and more enthusiastic about the week ahead. There are a ton of indicators pointing in a bullish direction. So if you find this video informative and entertaining, please like, share, and subscribe. It is a newer channel and I would appreciate the support. Let's get into the video. First and foremost, I want to personally thank everyone who has watched, liked, shared, and subscribed thus far, as well as commented. I could not be more appreciative of your support. Again, it's a newer channel, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. So I've showed this before, but for the newer viewers, I find it very relevant. It is from a great movie, V for Vendetta, and the character V says this: "Beneath this mask, there is more than flesh. Beneath this mask, there is an idea, and ideas are bulletproof." Ladies and gentlemen, we all have ideas about why we're in this stock, why we are diamond handing, why we are an ape, why we are a retail investor, why we are holding AMC stock until it squeezes. For change, free and fair trade, for life-changing money. There is nothing our opponent can do, whether it's FUD, whether it's price manipulation, shorting, nothing they can do, because our idea behind this is bulletproof. So, quick recap of last Friday. We regained the $10 level, shot up out of the open. We held it all day. They tried to press the price down at the very end of the day. We said no, not today, not this week. We showed a ton of strength. We got above the VWAP. We closed above the VWAP, and I believe this sets us up beautifully for the upcoming week. We closed at $10.16, and I believe that is a fantastic place for this stock to be at this moment. So let's look at the indicators. Moving average is moving in a bullish direction. MACD is touching the signal line, about to have a bullish crossover, all which are very, very, very positive signs for us as retail investors. Zooming in again, moving average, moving in a bullish direction. MACD is now touching the signal line on the daily chart, and that is huge for us, and I believe it sets us up very nicely for the next couple of weeks. Just my opinion, not financial advice. So a couple of things I want you to look at on this chart. This represents really the second half of February and most of March. This is significant, I believe, for a few different reasons. First is coming out of the baby squeeze from January, there was a lot of downward selling pressure, right? So if you look in and around, let's say, middle of February, the moving average began a bullish move upwards. It is also the first time after the baby squeeze that the MACD crossed over the signal line. Both signified a very bullish move out of in and around that $5 level, $6 level, and then we kept moving and got to around 10, right? Once we got to $10, we bounced there, found support for a few days. At that point, a few days prior, the MACD actually touched the signal line and then bounced and began yet another bullish move, pushing us from that $10 level up to around, above 14. If you look to the left, again, the moving average for us now is trending in a bullish pattern. The MACD is touching the signal line. It is my anticipation it will cross over that signal line if we have a bullish week, and I believe at that point we will have at least a week, possibly two, of very bullish action for all of us. again, that red line at the $10 level, I believe, is exceptionally important. That we regained that coming out of the $9 level. We are holding it at 10. If we hold it this week, bounce for a few days, I believe we will retrace upwards quickly. There's not a lot of resistance between the $10 level and the $14 level. I believe at $14 that is the point of maximum pain for all of the shorts. If you recall back in March, once we cross that $14 level, the negative media, the FUD articles, the heavy short selling, the short attacks, that was a area they protected very hard. They did not want to get past that $14 level, and they shot us down very hard as indicated on the chart. And again, the FUD articles, and they pulled out all the stops to get it back below. I do believe that $14 level is a point of maximum pain for them. Once we cross that line and stay there, I truly believe the squeeze will start in earnest. So again, this is representative of the last two MACD bullish crossovers prior to the baby squeeze, and again in that late February, both of which produced very bullish price action for us. We are at that point yet again. Once we cross over, I can only hope starting at a higher price point, instead of starting in the $5 level, we're starting at the $10 level. I think that is exceptionally positive news for us. I believe we are sitting in a fantastic position at this point. So this is the daily chart through last Friday, and I've added just a few illustrations to prove a point and to kind of show why I believe this upcoming week will be very bullish. The moving average, as indicated by the orange line, is moving in a bullish direction, obviously. I believe if we can trade on top of that moving average this week, in my opinion, we will close in or around the $11 level, possibly higher. But as long as we stay above that moving average support and stay in a bullish trajectory, maintaining the $10 level, I believe that we will have a fantastic week. If we break $11 and hold it as support, I believe we can have a very quick move upwards. There's not a lot of resistance until you get into the 13s. So I believe that this week, if we do not have a major bullish push, it's going to set us up for the following week. We do need more volume. It's 100% utilized, 100% owned, but the volume is key for us. Every time we have a volume spike on the bullish side, obviously it pumps up. I believe there are many people sitting on the sidelines right now that didn't want to get involved in the diamond hand and holding the shares for weeks on end, tying up money. But as soon as this, I believe, breaks 1050 and we get above $11 and it starts making a move, I believe there is a large amount of retail investors that are going to jump in and pile in for the move up. I believe we're going to have a very quick move because, again, not everyone is diamond hands, right? So as soon as this starts moving upwards, showing a lot more strength, without a doubt, I'm sure that other retail investors will jump in, only adding to our calls. Again, MACD is poised to cross over the signal line, which again bodes very well for us in the near future. So do a quick SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis is basically a business analysis of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So let's get into it. So the strengths of this stock, of this company that we are so heavily invested in, obviously we're 79%, 80% retail owned, all of us. That has been maintained for weeks now. The stock is 100% owned. We are currently at 100% utilization. There are reopenings throughout the United States, Canada, and international markets, albeit with limited capacities. Capacities are increasing. Godzilla versus Kong, the revenues for that movie have been just fantastic. 87 million domestically and 407 million worldwide. Huge numbers, even with limited capacities. Those numbers are huge. Mortal Kombat, last numbers I saw, 22 million domestically. I believe it's Thursday and Friday, or Friday and Saturday. 50 million worldwide thus far. Huge numbers. Pretty much on par with Godzilla vs. Kong. Backlog of blockbuster movies from 2020. We have great titles coming up in the near future. Q4 earnings were very positive. Beat most estimates, right? Considering the economic environment from Q4, the Q1 earnings estimates are starting to trickle in, and they're starting to look very positive. Again, AMC is, we're invested in the largest theater company in the world, right? They own the market share by far. Huge social media sentiment, positive sentiment. We're all heavily invested. AMC is our company, right? We own this company. This is our baby. Institutions are increasing positions daily. The number has increased substantially over the last couple of weeks. We are currently at 380 institutions, and big money is buying in. Put call out ratio is around 70 to 30 on average. Huge bullish sentiment around the options chain. AMC, last earnings report has at least $1 billion of cash on hand. Operating revenue is certainly improving with the reopenings, the titles, ticket sales. So the company is in a very strong position moving into the summer months of 2021. So again, the options chain looking very bullish for this week. Huge amount of positive sentiment around this company. Huge contracts were bought on Friday, expiring this Friday. Upwards of 1,500 contracts at a time. So huge amount of money. So again, I believe there's a huge opportunity for us this week. If we can push this stock and the price action above 1050 and get above 11 this week, we are going to cause a lot of people a lot of pain. This is the options change for puts only expiring this Friday, April 30th. There is a ton of open interest on the put side, all the way down to $6. They're not going to stay in these positions very long if we push this to $11. I believe there will be a lot of covering as soon as we get above 1050. That's just my personal opinion. They would be fools to do so, not do so otherwise. So I believe there will be a lot of covering if we can push this above 1050. So the weaknesses of the stock. Obviously debt from 2020, we all know that, but they certainly do seem to have a plan. Obviously operating revenues are increasing. I believe they have a plan around the debt near and long term, based on a lot of comments by the CEO, Adam Aaron. Obviously, weaknesses continue to be heavy short selling, competing with streaming services as they open new titles and new blockbusters come out, having to do some revenue sharing. But it certainly seems like the box office is very strong. COVID-19 effects, we just don't know, right? It could slow capacity levels or the increases of capacity levels, especially in the largest markets, LA, New York, and others. But right now, it seems like everything is reopening at a very steady and smooth pace without incident. The one thing about this stock, it's a very emotional stock. Every time there's positive news, we get somewhat of a small pop or a bull run. A lot of price action. Every time there's FUD articles, you start talking about the share dilution. It certainly makes people unsettled. You get a little bit of a sell-off. So it's a very emotional stock. And then you've got the ever-present FUD factory, right? Every day they're pumping out articles about, the movie theater industry is going to die and stocks are worth pennies and dollars. And I wouldn't buy this with my last dollar, or if you had it for free. All these FUD articles, they just keep pumping them out every day. Some people, obviously get a little fatigued by that and start questioning their judgment. But I believe those are the weaknesses at this point. The opportunities, I certainly believe the upcoming movie titles, obviously Mortal Kombat just came out. You got Ghostbusters, Suicide Squad, a lot of great titles coming out this summer, later this year. The movie industry is alive and well. Probably the biggest opportunities that we have are around the rules and regulations, DTCC, NSCC, recent margin calls. Are there more coming? We don't know, obviously, but I do believe these are not isolated events. There are certainly a lot of activities going on in the background to prepare what I believe is going to be a major financial issue for some of these hedge funds and some of these banks as soon as AMC squeezes, but I do not believe AMC will squeeze alone. I believe there will be other stocks that will be involved that will compile the pain and suffering on top of some of these hedge funds and banks. Certainly the synthetic shares outstanding, we just don't know, right? There's a lot of hypothesis around that, but those are opportunities, obviously, when this starts to squeeze, or even beforehand, about getting those cleaned up. The institutions, the longs versus the hedge funds, the shorts, I believe the longs are getting very tired of waiting. I believe they're tired of the games. If they're not engaged in that, I believe they are going to start fighting back sooner rather than later. I do not believe they are all friends. I believe there are some friends and foes. So I do not believe some of these large institutions are going to sit on the sideline much longer and allow the hedge funds to keep shorting this stock as the larger institutions have tied up large amounts of capital. Heavy call volume obviously expiring this Friday is a huge opportunity. If we can press the price up, the upcoming verification around the share count could be a huge catalyst. Those are big opportunities. Capacity levels increasing. Positive news. I believe that this Monday, Tuesday is going to be fantastic news around the movies, box office sales around, Mortal Kombat and others. I believe we're going to see a lot of positive sentiment around that from the honest journalists, anyway. Earnings for Q1, or the earnings for Q1, the estimates are starting to come out. They're looking very promising and doable. Certainly, gamma squeeze, short squeeze. Pick one, which one's going to happen first or second. But those are all huge opportunities. Again, the price action just has to go up, right? We need that catalyst to press the price action up to inflict the maximum amount of pain to make them start covering. And again, at any point in time, AMC could announce a merger, acquisition, or strategic partnership that could set the world on fire, right? There's obviously been rumors around Amazon and others. So let's look at the threats. Streaming services cutting into revenues. That's a threat, right? The continuing of shorting. I think one of the biggest things is the impatience of the retail investor and FOMO with other stocks. Obviously, recently, it's been Dogecoin, it's been TCAT, it's been, pick one, right? MVIS took off, I think, Friday or whatever. People seeing other stocks shoot up while they're tied up in AMC. Some people could get tired of it, right? So I do believe that's a threat the longer this goes. But I do believe that the true diamond hands, the true apes, are in this to the end no matter what. Obviously, any sort of major negative news around the company, the annual meeting coming up on the 4th, I believe will be regardless of what the CEO said about not using the 500 million shares this year, even if approved, I believe that the FUD factory is going to go after that hard, twist the news, twist the words, and put as much fear to try to shake people out of their shares as possible over the next couple of weeks. YouTubers turning on each other, you be the judge of that, but obviously I've certainly seen some, back and forth here and there. I won't get into that. Political salvation for the hedge funds is also another threat for the stock itself, meaning if someone, because of the horrible nature of which these financial institutions and hedge funds have all, heavily shorted these companies, not just AMC, but overextended the financial system. Heavy margins, leveraging, heavy shorting, synthetic shares, fails to deliver, you name it. All of this stuff has to be reconciled at some point, right? And I hope that the politicians don't get involved in the process. Just sometimes there's big winners and big losers, right? And it's not always the big money that wins. So let's just cross our fingers and hope that the political machine does not get involved in the financial machine. So again, I'm not even going to share the short interest or short borrow fees or anything else, because quite honestly, most of the sites are taken down, and what you do find is probably erroneous. So in summary of the SWOT analysis, I believe we are invested in a fantastic company with a very strong future, a very bright future. I believe the stock price will reflect that sooner rather than later. We've picked a really good company to get involved with. The CEO, the executives, they love us, and it appears that we all love them. We support this company. It is a 100-year-old company, and we are certainly diamond handing this, I believe, to the end in most cases. So as always, I wanted just to verify credibility that I have skin in the game. I am with you to the bitter end. I am diamond hands all day long. So let me read you one quick quote. I feel more comfortable with gorillas than people. I can anticipate what a gorilla is going to do, and they're purely motivated. Diane Fossey. I believe this is true because this movement, the apes, right? All the retail investors, everyone that's involved in either GME or AMC, you name it, we all are purely motivated for the purest intentions. We want change. We want transparency. We want a fair set of rules. We want access to information, short interest, short borrow fees, to say the like, without websites crashing, for 2 or 3 days. Those are all things that we are purely motivated by. And I believe that we all feel very comfortable around one another. We are in this, and we are a family, without a doubt. So I want to thank you all for watching. If you found this video informative and entertaining, please like, share, and subscribe. Again, it's a newer channel, so I would appreciate any support. But most importantly, I hope your life is full of green candles and you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.